Well, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So last night we kind of finished the little tree topper. I got it on my little tree. It's a little oversized for my tiny baby tree, but I still love it. So that is with our embroidery of the month from this month. We get a new embroidery month tomorrow, so be sure to check it out tomorrow so you can see the new embroidery. All right, but tonight I thought we'd continue making our little snowflake. We kind of are halfway done with this tatted snowflake, so tatting again. We got my tatting shuttle, the thread's already wound, we're halfway done. I would like to try and finish this today and spray it and press it. And then maybe tomorrow we can start fresh from the beginning, and I can show you just like how to get started with tatting again. I would like to do some sewing later this week as well. So this is a kind of our free week. We're playing it by ear a little bit. So all right, you guys, let's go. Alrighty, all my cute little tatted pieces here. So I'm going to zoom you guys down. We'll get real close here again. I also got my little strawberry tray with me today. I'm like totally loving this thing. So I have my pattern here. This is what I'm using for these snowflakes. And I have 3 done, and I think they'll just be so cute on the tree, just like all filled with the same pattern snowflake in the same colors as the embroidery pattern, or not the, same as the winter snowflake, that snowflake mandala embroidery. So all right, so this is where we left off. I'm just gonna kind of pick this up today where I left off, but tomorrow I would like to maybe start a whole nother one, so we can start from scratch. So if you missed the time when I did this from scratch a couple weeks ago, we'll go right from the beginning, and I'll dig into it a little bit more. So for now, we're gonna just continue this guy. So all right, I'm gonna hold it with my. We've done 3 rounds, so each one of these loops, including the little bobbers on the end, these are picots. That's part of the round. So we've done 3 rounds. We need to do 3 more. So I'm going to hold the thread where I left off between my middle and 3rd finger, and we're going to go around my hand and hold it back the same spot. And let's start our double stitches here. All right, going under, then over, flipping that knot, bringing it down to the last loop there, and then over, under, and flipping that knot. There we go. First little double stitch there. It's a little far away from the other one, but whatever. I think it's going to be just fine. All right, we need to do 5 of those. That's 1, 2. So I'm trying to, let's see if I can make this be like a comfortable motion today. 3. I'm definitely still learning how to do this. I suspect I might have a lot more slack than like a pro would, but who knows. I should watch more videos, I think, of it. See how the real speedy people do it. All right, so there we go. We got our first 5 double stitches, and now I need to do a join. So a join is where I'm connecting this to the picot from the last row there. So how I do that is I gotta put this thread. I need some more slack, I think. Let's pull this out a little bit more. There we go. Let's pull this up through, and then we got to stick the whole shuttle through that loop. I'm still pretty sure that I might not have this completely right yet either. I think it's working, but I don't know. It always feels a little goofy, so I'm kind of at the point now where I feel like I've tried this out, this whole tatting thing out. Like I'm coming up to the next barriers, basically. Like, how I like to just jump into projects like this, or, you know, things I don't know how to do, just, like, learn how to do them. But then I definitely reach a point where I'm like, okay, clearly there's a trick to this thing that I don't know. And I'm feeling like it's time to do more research. I learn enough to get started, and then I see where the barriers are, and then I'm like, okay, now I know what to research. I gotta dig in a little bit more, and I'm feeling like I'm getting to that point here again. That's 4 and 5. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable, like, holding the thread and all that stuff, though. So anyway, hope everyone is having a nice day today. Gretchen, yes, I am on Facebook. I'm on, yep, and it seems to be working over there. So maybe I might have forgot to put a thumbnail or something there. And I think I might have started like a minute later, so I'm over there now. Okay, let's do a picot. All right, we're gonna leave that like, about that much. All right, that's our first little picot. I've noticed that I think my stitches are getting a bit looser from when I started, so like compared to the first snowflake. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I feel like I'm maybe a little bit more gentle and comfortable with it, so I think it's a good thing. Ugh, and you guys, when I was visiting my parents, they have a framed tatted piece that my great-grandmother did, and I took some photos of it, because now that I know a little bit about tatting, now I feel like I can reflect on it a little bit. So I'll post a picture of it over in the group, in the Facebook group. But dang, now I'm definitely, like, can just see the art of it a lot more than I could. You need to add a second ball for, or chain. Yeah, so Sylvia, I definitely need to jump to the next level as far as, so I'm still doing this very basic thing of just making rounds in a clockwise manner. The next step up, and this part makes sense to me, like I don't think I'm going to have a problem doing this per se, but the next step up is to do things that are in a counterclockwise direction, which basically means flipping the work. Like you always work clockwise, so to go counterclockwise, you got to actually turn your piece upside down, and then still work clockwise, and then just continue. And then the other things that I haven't done yet is a chain stitch on here, and that's just kind of like, what if I don't want to do a round? What if I don't want to do a circle like that, and I just want like a row of something before going to the next circle? To do that row, I got to add a bunch of chain stitches. It's basically just like what I'm doing. It's the same process. It's double stitches still, but with a second thread. So that means I either, instead of, so like right here, I have the end of the thread here. So instead of having an end of the thread, I would have had this like on the ball still. Like, I mean, I don't have a ball because I'm just using these little skeins, but in theory I would have more thread wound on this side, or it would just be like the big ball of yarn, like a pearl cotton, big thing. Or I'd have a second shuttle on the other end. So I'd really actually have two shuttles hanging here. One would be for like the chain stitches, and one would be for like these loops. Or if you can even change color. So there is more to learn than and more to try out than what I'm doing here. But I'm having fun right now with just these snowflakes. The thing I need to look up. So I definitely need to like dig into that stuff for sure. The next level up of stitching. But there's something I'm doing wrong for sure, or they haven't quite figured out that is just a technical problem that I need to get past. And that is the final join. So we won't get there until I'm done with all of these loops, all 6 loops. But that final, there we go. Getting that final join onto the beginning loop, the beginning picot right there. I have struggled with that with each one of these. And I think I got it right on the last one I did, which I think is might be this white one. Or no, I think it might be this one. But it was confusing and I had to take it out a few times. So I know for sure I'm missing some just obvious thing there. So that's the thing I need to look up for sure. And then I do need to try like getting into like the more advanced things too. But like I said, right now I'm having fun with just these little baby snowflakes. And I'm to the point now where I know what the pattern is and stuff, so I don't even really need to look at it, and that's just, whoops. Forgot to go get my hand underneath there. So it's just feeling comfortable. But yeah, now that I'm getting comfortable, it's time to look up like proper technique and all those like proper ways of joining and stuff. But there we go. This is that next loop. I have the pattern on there now, so all I got to do is close the round. So this is why you can do it on a needle. Like there's needle tatting and stuff too. You basically have this long flat thing like this, and it doesn't become a loop until I pull this all tight. So we can kind of see it happening if I do it on the ground like this. So like if I just hold the knots in place here so I can pull. Ooh, they're just gonna like suck up like that yarn, that extra thread is gonna just suck up into it. There we go. Until it's tight, and there is our latest round. Yeah, I'm doing something weird with my joins. I don't think I'm doing that technique like where I join it to a previous picot, so that like the next one will join to this one right here. I'm pretty sure I'm missing. I'm just gonna poof these up. I'm missing a tiny bit of technique, so I think it's time to dig into the YouTubes again. I'm gonna try and make this a little bit smaller. There, pulling it in a little bit more just so it's closer to the size of these other ones. Let's squeeze it a little bit more. There we go. All right, so I have 4. So I'm going to just start the next row, or the next round. So I'm going to hold it at my starting point, and I'm going to go around. And now all this excess, or like our bits here are totally getting in my way. So I'm going to have to pay attention to that as well. All right. Oh, hey, Gretchen. Made it over here. Okay, so Gina says in heirloom sewing, tatting can be added, to the edges of sleeves and collars, totally, but it's getting very hard to find and very expensive. Oh gosh, I'm sure it's super expensive. So yeah, so this is tatting. I mean, I'm making these little flowery snowflakes. These are just like kind of more decorative. Well, I guess it's always decorative, but it is super traditional to have it as edging. Like if I wanted like cute edging on my cuff here, I mean obviously I wouldn't do it on my jean coat here, but like if I was making like a cute little Easter skirt or something, or for like a toddler and I wanted them to be extra fancy, you could do like a tatted hem on a dress or something, or tattered cuff or something like that is a traditional way of using tatting, and I've seen it on like pillowcases before, just as a little edging. It's very pretty, or like pretty napkins. So things like that. Actually, that'd be really kind of fun to do some napkins. I have some cute napkins. It would be fun to embroider and tat the edge. Dang. Okay, I'm kind of getting another project going in my head here. But yeah, so that'd be kind of fun to do. Sylvia says, I met a lady who was tatting an edge, to a bed skirt with real chunky yarn. Huh, that's interesting. So when I was digging into tatting a little bit more, I did see on Etsy some people, I mean, there's people on Etsy who are making these shuttles, like out of wood. And now I'm concentrating on this join again, getting the shuttle all the way through there. But there was some that said like it was for chunky or larger thread. So I bet you that's just a really big shuttle that can hold a lot of this bobbin thread. All right, can I still pull this? Yeah. So that's interesting. So was she tatting it with a shuttle? She must have been doing like needle tatting or something. I'm just trying to imagine what kind of shuttle would hold like chunky yarn. Ugh, but how fun. That's a cute idea. So I love things like that too, where people just kind of update an old craft sort of like that. Like, why not do tatting with a chunky yarn? That sounds amazing. All right, that's 2. Erin, yes, this is tatting. I am learning to tat. These are the 3 things I've tatted. Right now, Mirage, I'm using just embroidery floss right now because I have it. So I'm just using like a skein of embroidery floss. I don't think that's really recommended. I think you traditionally want to use like a pearl cotton floss, something or like a ball of like where it's wound on a ball, so you have like more than just a tiny little bit. Like this is a whole skein of floss just about. So sometimes you want more than that. So like a pearl cotton floss that's on the ball, or like a crochet thread, like sometimes there's that thread that people make doilies and stuff out of, so something like that. But this is totally working too. I think maybe the only reason to not use a 6-strand embroidery floss is that it like splits really easily. But it's working fine. It's working great for this so far. So I'm using what I got. And it's just been kind of fun, a fun learning process. I was just kind of saying earlier, I feel like I'm at the learning process stage where it's like, okay, I got a feel for it now. There's spots that I'm clearly needing a little help on, or I'm struggling with. So those are like the tiny little bits that I need to look up how to do. Ooh, okay, we gotta make that a lot bigger. But it was interesting, like since I started this, like some of you guys have been sending me images and stuff, like there's little guides that you can buy or that exist that for these picots, like I'm making one of these big picots here. There's like little guides so you can get them equal each time. And like, on a big thing like this, like I'm making it that big, that would be super handy. So there's tools to dig into and all sorts of things that I don't know about yet to dig into. So this is kind of a new craft for me. Oh, thanks so much, Mirage. I'm having a good time playing around with a new to me craft, that's for sure. So I'm making, oops, that guy got caught in my finger. I'm making, I don't know how many of these I make, just till I get sick of them, I suppose. But I have like a little mini Christmas tree, and I just think these would look super duper cute on it for the decorations. Okay, there's our other picot. All right, let's keep going. So I'm keeping on making them. It's just fun. I'm running low on thread, though. You can tell that we're getting close to the last one. All right, let's see. Oh, I'd be curious about that, like if doing a chunky tatting, if it looks like macrame. I bet you it kind of does. All right. Okay, that's 1. I need 4 more. 2, 3. All right, so I'll show you guys just like the general. I know I'm going super fast tonight, but I'll show you kind of the general look to this again. So we're making double stitches. So it's two parts. It's the under-over part and then the over-under part. So they're opposite of each other. So I'm going to go under first. So I got to swoop, just get the thread on top of my hand. And I'm going to go under that thread and under the thread on my finger right here. This one right here. So under both. And to go under, I'm actually just sliding it past my finger, the shuttle. So I'm all the way past that thread, and then I'm going to come back over. So under, and now this is over, and I'm sliding it past my thumb. And then we're coming through that circle. And then this loop, I actually want that flipped to the other side. So I want this thread tight and this thread loose. So I'm going to loosen that, and I'm going to pull, and there we go. Now this thread is tight, and that loop is on the other side. So that's half. That's the first half of my double stitch. And now I go over under. So that was the under over. This is the over under. So I don't have to worry about swooping underneath for this one. I just start and I go over the shuttle. The shuttle is what's going over, slide my finger by, and then under, and slide my finger by. There we go. And then again, we got that loop on this side. I want it on the other side, so I'm going to flip it. There we go. And pull it down. So that's my unit of measure really right now, are those double stitches. So that's one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to do one more. Under, over, and over, under, and flip. Okay, that was 5, right? Yep. The nice thing is that you can see each knot there, so they're easy to count. So this was so confusing looking to me, like absolutely super confusing. And now that I know the general motions of it, like how to make a double stitch basically, like how to hold my thread and how to make that double stitch, what I just showed you, and the concept of it sliding past your finger, like that was way new to me. It's really actually kind of easy. Like there's not much to this really. You know, I am just doing the very basic thing. I'm not doing the next part where I change direction and like do other stuff with it. But at this level that I'm doing it, it's actually really kind of fun and easy, easier than I thought it was. But I had to get those couple of concepts because that was where I was completely lost. Oh, Michelle the Quittler says, hello everyone, I give you, credit for trying this. Oh, that's so sweet. My friend tried it and likes to do tatting now. Ugh, they are beautiful. Awesome! Yeah, I'm just, it's just like, this is my jam. It's just like, I don't know how to do that. I need to know how to do it when it comes to like crafting. So I love trying to figure stuff out like this. I mean, obviously I'm not the one figuring it out. It's figured out, but I love learning it. Okay, that's 4 and one more. It feels like another like magic trick to have in your basket of magic tricks, I guess. Oh, Mirage says, I heard some people make marks on the side of the finger. Ooh, to use as a picot measurement. Well, now that's clever. So like how I was saying, there's actual tools, like little acrylic tools that I'm assuming you stick in at this point to, and here, like I can spread this one out again, just to like figure out like, well, how wide do I need to make those big picots? And then they just stick it in there. But yeah, just having a measurement, like this is like a mark on my finger. Okay, this is how big I'm making the big picots, and another mark for the small ones. That's clever. I do like that, especially if you're working on like a big, or like something where these all have to be perfect. Like the piece that my great grandmother did, that I took a photo of. So that I'm gonna post in the group, but it's like a lot of the same thing. So it's way more intense than this, but it's kind of the same sort of situation where I think they were even by 6, so I think they were even hexagons, but they would be joined together. So she had, let's see, it would have been something like this. So it would be like just a pile of hexagons that kept getting attached till it was this larger piece. So like this one would go like here or whatever, and it was just this kind of large piece. In that sort of case, you would have really wanted all those picos to be as close to the same as possible, I'm thinking. All right, I'm going to close this loop here. There we go. This is our 5th one. There we go. I think we can pull it a little bit more. Totally, Sylvia. Sylvia says it's tricky. It's tricky, not trippy. It's tricky, but when you get it, a light bulb moment, it's tension on one side of the string relaxing and in the other. So yeah, so it's like, oh, it's cute as just 5 too. But with the, you're changing the tension from this hand to this hand to pop that knot to the other side. Daniela, this is tatting. So we are tatting. It's like a super old craft, yarn craft or thread craft. And we're doing it with a shuttle, and I haven't done it much before. I've only made these 3 things, and I'm learning, and this is, I'm finishing up this blue snowflake, so I just have 1 more of these rounds to go. Oh, Rockin' Robin is wondering if it's harder for left-handed people. Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm totally going to have to try it now. I don't do this often, but I do occasionally like trying things in the opposite. I might give that a try. We're almost done with this one, and I'll wind this up to start the next one maybe, because we do have some time yet. Hey Deborah. So we'll see. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe I'll probably do that tomorrow. Actually, now I want to try. Let's see if I can do this left-handed. I'll have to take out the knots, though. So I just want to see if I can get the idea of the general motion. I'm not going to actually do it, but I just want to, just because I don't want to take out all the knots, but I just want to see if I can get the feel of going in reverse. So, or going left-handed. So I'd hold, so now I'm holding it in my right hand instead of my left hand. Okay, I'd go around, and I'd come back up, and I'd meet the end. I don't think it'd be harder at all, actually. I do think you maybe have to wind your bobbin the other direction. So this is wound counterclockwise. I think maybe, I don't know this for a fact. Oh, Robin, you're left-handed. I don't know this for a fact because I'm totally learning, but I suspect maybe it would want to be wound clockwise. I don't know that for sure though, because this feels a little bit weird. Or maybe I just have it. Maybe I just leave it up on this side. So let's see, I would go under. I need more slack. Okay, I'd go under my hand here, and I'd go, oh gosh, my hand's like shaking. I'd go under and over and through. Oh gosh, it would be the exact freaking same with left hand. So I don't think it'd be a problem at all. I'm going to pull this out. It feels exactly the same, except super awkward because I'm not left-handed. But I don't think the motion or anything would change. I am wondering about that winding it clockwise though instead of counterclockwise. But now instead, I just have it coming off of the back. Like when I'm holding it, I have it coming off like away from me versus it coming off towards me. So like if I'm holding it with my right hand, I don't want it coming off towards me like that, so I'm just putting it to the back. So I think if you did that, it'd be fine. But yeah, if you try, I'd love to hear how it goes, left-handed tatting. But just from an initial attempt, it seems like it'd be exactly the same. All right, so I'm now going to do the part that I'm not sure I'm doing right. So this is the part that I got to look up when we're done here. And it's, we've been doing these joins, so I got to join it to this picot here, which I've been doing like here. So all of these little markings, or all of these little parts, like a little further up from the center, those are actually, I'm joining it to a picot that's already there. So the first one will be easy because that's what I've been doing. But I now have to, like, once I keep going around, I now have to join it to this picot. And I have not done that right yet. It's getting twisty, or like, I don't know, I'm not holding everything right. So that's the part that I do need to look up. So it's going to get real awkward here, is I guess what I'm saying, once I get to the end here. But I would like to finish this tonight. So we'll do this final loop. Hopefully it's not too crazy. Like, hopefully I can figure it out. But I would like to tuck the ends in still tonight, and I would like to starch it. So you can see how loopy, like big fat loops are on here right now, and how pointy they are on my snowflakes. That's because I've already kind of starched and pressed these, so they're staying nice and pointy, and I think that's really what's making it look a lot more like snowflakes versus a flower. So like, this is definitely looking more floral here with these like large bloops, the large picots, the round teardrop shapes. So I'd like to try and starch those tonight yet too. First, we got to finish one more round. So all the way around. All this stuff is in my way. Okay, so there we go. I don't have too much left on my bobbin, but or on my shuttle here, but I have done 3 of these, and I know for sure that one of my skeins of floss here is enough. So I think I'll even have some extra. So I'm not worried about that. But it does look like I don't have a lot on here anymore. Although I am making this kind of looser, so we'll see if that affects anything. I think I need to do a little bit more. I'm also curious, like, when I start looking up like that error that I keep doing on this last join, and you'll kind of see what I mean when I get there. But the other thing I'm curious about, now that I've learned a little, now I need to study more, is I'm curious how much slack people leave themselves. Like, is this the normal length to work with? Because right now it seems kind of tight for me. Or is it, do I undo a little bit more? Is this the normal? Or is it even more? So I just kind of want to, now it's time to, like, now that I know a little bit of what I'm doing, it's time to see how the pros do it again. And start watching some YouTube videos again with a new perspective now that I know a little bit more. But yeah, so maybe I'll dig into that tomorrow. Yeah, so maybe tomorrow we'll start another one from scratch. And I won't keep doing these forever. I know I've spent a lot of time on this tatting stuff lately, but it's just exciting to me because it's a new thing. But anyway, maybe I'll do a little education before tomorrow and see if I can figure out some of those, like, technique standards or something, and figure out how to do this final join that I still don't know how to do. All right, let's do the first join. So here's what I'm talking about. I want to join where I'm at now to this picot that came before here. So I'm going to put the thread underneath. And I know some of you guys know how to tat, so any tips on joining to the last picot, let me know when we get there. So I'm picking up that thread, I'm like pulling it from between that picot now. So just to do that again, I'll get a little closer too. So here's this picot that I'm trying to join to. So my working thread here, I'm putting it behind the picot, and then I'm taking the little tool on the end of my shuttle here, this little pick, and I'm going into the picot and picking out that working thread. And this is why, like, embroidery floss can split a little bit, but we're fine. So now I've pulled that loop through. You can kind of see that. Now I got to get my whole shuttle through that loop. So I kind of got to get more slack and ram it all the way through there. Okay, like so. And now I can kind of pull this loop back. I'm not sure how far I'm supposed to pull that, but I just do want to make sure that my thread still moves. Like, can I make this tight again? Yeah, okay. As long as I can still tighten my ring, then we're fine. All right, so that's a join. So I'm joined now to that previous picot. And so I'm going to keep going now, but we have to join it to our final picot, like our first picot that we did, to do that final round. And that's the one, because it's all upside down, and I don't know, that's the one I haven't been getting quite right. So that's the research that needs to happen. But anyway, all right, let's do the pattern here now. I need to do 5 double stitches. So under, over, and over, under. That's our first one, and I need more slack here. Oh, thanks, Piglet. Oh, the tip. Okay, all right. Piglet says, I think I usually have about 15 inches of thread. Also, you might try a metal shuttle. Ooh, they have a hook on it. Oh, yeah, I'll have to look into those. So I'm definitely digging into more on shuttles. It'd be fun to get a fancy one. Okay, the tip plus the bobbin, plus a bobbin to hold the thread. Oh, yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. That the ones with the bobbins that come out. Oh, thanks, I'm doing great, Piglet says. Is this like macrame or crochet or something? Feel free to ask Boba. So, Boba, this is tatting. It's very similar to both, really, in look, but... So, I feel like it looks like crochet, but it's not. But it's physically more like macrame. So it's called tatting, and you're basically tying a pile of knots, and that's what makes it like macrame. So it's like small-scale macrame, and this is a tatting shuttle, and that's what's allowing us to just... It's just a device to make knots, basically. Hold your thread and make knots. But it does... Crochet has many things that look like this. Like, I could make a crocheted version of this as well. But the mechanics of it is 100% different, I feel like, than crochet. Okay, that's 3. So it looks like crochet, but mechanically I think it's more like macrame. And if anyone's tatted here before, let me know if that sounds accurate to them. That's kind of my impression. I'm learning how to do this over the past couple weeks here. So I'm a newbie at this for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we're doing our little pattern at the top. Oh, Piglet says the stitch is really like an itty-bitty half hitch. Exactly. So we're doing, well, yeah, so we do one side of the knot and then the other side of the knot. Exactly. Oh, Piglet says 100% correct. So it looks like crochet, but totally isn't, and it's actually more mechanically like macrame. All right, I gotta make that space a little bit bigger. So this is me making one of those picots again. So those are those small loops. You start out by just leaving a gap like this, and I did half of the knot here, and then now I gotta do the over-under part, and that's the other half. Like, I feel like you could do this on a super large scale with like rope if you wanted to, like make a gigungous snowflake. It's like mechanically it is just tying some knots. I wouldn't need this device, but you know, this device just allows you to do it with your hand, and easier to tie knots, so you're not like using your little fingers to tie all these itty bitty tiny knots. It just like helps out with the mechanics of it all. Okay, so here's my second double stitch, and now I gotta do my real big one. This is for the big picot on the top. Oh, thanks, Boba. No problem. Happy that you popped in. All right. I want it a little bit bigger. I think I've been making them a little bit bigger than this. So technically what we're doing is folding this in half. So I need to make it the like length that is double the height that I wanted the final one to be. So I think I made them a little bit bigger yet. I'm just kind of trying to shush this up a little bit. There, I think it was kind of like that. So, gotta hold that in place. I think I need a little bit more. Grab a little bit lower here. I got so many stitches on here now that it's hard to hold it this high. So there we go. Now the other half of the knot kind of locks it in place. There, so now it's the full length, but when I pull it down, then it gets like divided in half to make our super big picot. All right, so one more double stitch here. There we go. And now I need to make another picot. Oh, Piglet says, for consistency on my picots, I hold the thread up with my nail, so I see how tall it will be. Like, oh, interesting. So let's just do that with this next one. I have another picot to do here. This is our last picot, actually, because the next one's going to be a join. That's the part that I mess up. So, like, you kind of hold it up. Oh, like, I don't know, maybe like with this nail, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up all of those like fun tips. But anyway, so I think it was about there. Over, under. Ugh, I have no slack here anymore. Okay, so there's our picot. I'm gonna slide all this down a little bit. Oops. There we go. Okay, there's our little top bit. I'm also trying to practice, and I talked a little bit about this yesterday, I'm trying to practice just setting it down and being able to pick it up and figure out how to hold it again and figure that out. Oh, so you just like stick your finger in it a little bit like this? Oh, rather than spreading it out. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, just do your knot and just hold a little bit of it back. Okay, that totally makes sense, Piglet. I get that. Ooh, okay, that's a great tip. I'm gonna use that next time. Won't be with this one anymore because that was my last picot. All right, so let's see. Hold this in here again and get my hand in there. Great. So I need to do 4 more of these, and then I got to do that last join. That is the part that I don't know. Oh, interesting. So Sylvia says the last join and the consistent picot are hard for me too. Okay, well that's good to know at least that I'm like struggling in similar spots. So those little mini like struggles of like, ugh, this is a little harder than it probably should be. Those are the things that I want to like look up to see if I'm missing. I mean, obviously I'm missing some sort of like little tip or trick. So that's my next thing I want to figure out. So the last join is difficult for you too. Okay, that's good to know. Ooh, did I? Oh yeah, I can still move. I thought I maybe didn't flip a knot. Okay, what do I got? 3. Okay, Piglet, I'm so doing that next time. I'll remember that for tomorrow when I make another one of these. 4. Okay, 5. All right, and then let's give myself a little bit more slack just because. And now, okay, so now I gotta join to this one. But this is where I get confused. So I think last time I had to actually work underneath a little bit. Like I think I had to have my bobbin underneath too, and then I pull this around, and it should be kind of upside down now. Okay. Well, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to be on this side. All right, hold on. So right now I have the bobbin on top. And my picot there. So coming up like so. Oh, Piglet says, don't despair. It took me years. Admittedly, I was 8 to figure out how to flip the stitches. Oh, nice. Okay, so put it behind. So I'm putting it behind, and now I pull up. Okay, I think this is where I mess up, though, because now I'm on top again. Oops, there we go. So I've pulled through. But now I think I need to be on the other side of this. So now do I stick it through maybe? Get in there. Get the loop in front. Oh, get the loop in front. Okay, so I was doing that before. And then all my knots at the end were backwards. Okay, let's try that. I'm going to try and do that again, though. Let's just get this loop back in front. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the part that I haven't quite figured yet. So I'm undoing that join. Okay, so we're back where I started now. So I'm going to get this loop in front. Hold on. I got to get my bearings here again. Okay, so it's in front now. So everything's in front, but then how do I get the loop through? I still have to put it in back, don't I? Oh, but the workings can be on the front. Okay, so I think I got it. I think I got it figured out. I think I get what you're saying here. So I can still put it in back. Now I'm joining. So this is a scenario I haven't tried yet where I pull this loop, the working loops to the front. All right, I think I got it here. All right, I gotta get my hand in there yet. We're getting it. Hold on here. There we go. Okay, I'm in position, people. Ooh, and my knot still moves. We're in good. I think we got it. Okay, that worked. Tatted stuff behind the loop, and all this stuff on the front. So, okay, I think we got it. It looked crazy, but I think we got it. Let's see, because this is where it's been messing up. Like my knots all got twisted, but I think we totally got it. Yay! Thanks so much for your help. This is totally gonna work. So that's one. I need to do 4 more now. Let's see, we're almost out of thread on this bobbin, but or on the shuttle, but I know we'll have enough. Okay, so that is a scenario I haven't tried yet. Like bringing that, like it didn't occur to me that that loop could come to the front too, and I could still do the picot from the back. Okay, so that's my error. Okay, I gotta ingrain that in my head, because that's the thing that I was, I think, missing. Although I haven't pulled this tight yet, but I think I get it now. That makes sense. Okay, 5. All right, let's pull the loop. Ooh, and it still moves. That's promising. Okay, that totally worked. Okay, 1 we did right. That makes me so happy. Okay, and I get it. That's the important part. I get it. So you can tell that I don't have it joined at this bottom. I'm gonna have to do that next. I'll do that. I'll just weave in the ends there. But this is it. We got our whole piece here. I am going to finish this yet today, so I'm gonna weave in the ends. See, we still have lots of bobbin on here. So let's get my scissors out here. I'm just gonna snip, and oh, I do have in the top of this strawberry. It has like a little container in here. So I had a little needle with a needle minder, because I brought this with me. I traveled with this, and I wanted to make sure I had a needle, but I didn't want it going everywhere. So I stuck a needle minder in there with it. I don't need it other than that, but okay. So I got my needle. I'm gonna take the piece that we just finished here and thread it. And I don't know if this is the right way to finish these either, but it's how I finished the other ones. And so that's another little bit that I'll have to look up, just like a proper way to finish it. I've been just kind of doing it how I think. So I got a few things to touch up on for sure for research. So I'm gonna kind of do this join now, and all I'm gonna do is go to my start, like on the opposite side here, and I'm just gonna go through these knots with my needle, and I'm just gonna come up and pull it tight. There we go. This is so much easier than the first time I did this too, because my knots have gotten looser. So see, now where it was wide here, I'm gonna pull on this and it's gonna come together, and that'll be like the final join. It's looking very kind of wobbly, but once I spray it with some water, it'll be just fine. And I don't think I'm gonna do any more than this. Like, I'm not handling this a ton, so I don't think I need like a huge knot or anything here. I'm just gonna trim that. Oops, didn't quite get all of it. All right, and now I'm gonna just take the other side, like my beginning side, and I'll thread that. Let's get a nicer end. And I'll do the same thing. I'll just come up on the other side and thread that, and then we'll do a little starch to this. Show how you weave in the ends, please. Oh, if you would. So, okay, so all I'm going to do, all I'm doing for weaving in the ends is I'm just coming up. I'll get a little bit closer for this one. So I'm just threading it on the needle. This was my start point, and I'm going to come up. I'm going to the place next to it here. Oops, there we go, next to it. So not like this is the loop that it's coming out of, or the round that it's coming out of, but I'm going to put it in this round just to help kind of attach that. And I'm just coming up. I'm passing the needle through all of these loops that we made, which is, you know, a little difficult. But there we go, and I'm just going to come out somewhere, and here we come, guy. There we go. And pulling it up through those loops. There, so basically right here in the center is where I've pulled the two ends through, and I'm not going to weave. I mean, theoretically, I could weave it back the other way, and that'd probably be a little bit more secure, but I'm just going to stop here, weave it in once, and call it a day like that. So it's still, oops, so we got all the ends tucked in. It's still a bit wobbly, you can see. So now we're going to do the starching of it all. I'm just kind of lightly starching it. So we want this little wobble guy to look nice and flat like these guys. So I'm going to turn on my iron. I'm going to actually spray this. Let's just see if I can make these. We'll just pull on all our picos a little bit, just so that they're nice and they stand out all nice. I suspect that these might be my largest picos compared to the other ones that I've done, but we'll see. So I'm just kind of going around, and we're just like pulling knots tighter, basically, is what we're doing by making these loops a little bit bigger. I don't really need to do this, but I like that I'm getting them. See how like little it is here. If I kind of just stick my needle in there and pull on it, it's gonna get a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so let's, I'm gonna grab some starch. So this is just a light starch. This is best press starch. You could just use water. That would be fine too. All right, so I have a little, I have just this paper towel here, just so I don't get it everywhere. And I'm gonna just spray, I'm just gonna basically saturate this with basically this water with a little bit of starch in. So this is all like soaking wet. We're basically blocking. So this is called, like in knitting and things like that, it's called blocking. And that's where you get something wet, and then you secure it down on a surface in the shape that you want it to be in. So I have my little wool pressing mat here. I'm going to set this on the pressing mat, and I'm actually going to pin this to my mat. And I'm going to use these little pins that are water, or that are heat, like okay with the heat. So I'm going to position them, like this whole piece, in like the position that I want everything to be in. So it was all wobbly and stuff. Now it's gonna get all nice and crisp. And this takes time. If you're doing a huge doily, like I've done this with crochet before, I kind of love crocheting doilies. It's like a little ridiculous. I don't necessarily like the look of crocheted doilies or anything, but I love making them, and my grandma always made a ton. Oh, Piglet says my uncle watched me doing that and said he was going to put me to work repairing fish nets. So that's kind of how I feel. Like I've thought of that before too. Like, oh, I'm like doing like all this magic knots and stuff with this tatting shuttle. It is kind of like, feels like it would be like a repair for a fish net or something. So, all right. So this just takes time. You gotta do, like, I'm gonna do all these smaller picos too, and I think I'm gonna actually stretch this out a little bit more. I think I did a little taller and wider. Let's just stretch it out a little bit more. But yeah, so you can tell it's already, like, this is already drying a little bit, and it's already pointy and pretty. So you could just let this sit overnight, and that's good enough, but I'm going to actually press it at the same time just to kind of speed up the process. How's that looking? This one feels big to me. Or like stretched out, I mean. There we go. And I'm actually going to get all of these little baby picos too. Those we want stretched out in the right place as well. So, takes time. And yeah, imagine doing a huge doily with like 80,000 of these little picos on the end. It takes forever, but it's so worth it. It really changes the look. This one feels a little twisted, so that's good that we're blocking it. Now it looks like we're doing surgery. Oh, thanks, Deborah. Deborah says the snowflakes are looking so pretty. I'm loving doing them to different colors. And again, we're doing them the colors of the embroidery of the month, which is that snowflake embroidery that we made into the tree topper this past week. I love how that turned out, by the way. I just need a little bit bigger tree for it. All right, I think he needs to be a little straighter this way. There we go. Ooh, just 4 more. And then we'll give this a little press. We almost got it. These wool mats work so nicely for this. I think in knitting, like, I've seen, I mean, knitters have to do this very often, especially if they're knitting, like, clothing and stuff. Blocking, they have to do this blocking. And I think there's actually, like, special, like, blocking boards to do this on, but this wool mat has been working great for me. Okay, I just want to get all these exactly where I want them, and, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect either. I'm being a little picky now. All right, so there we go. So I could just let this dry overnight, and that would be totally fine, but I am going to grab my iron here, and I'm going to just plop it right on top. It's probably time to clean this iron, too. It was, I did this with my white snowflake, and I was kind of getting some schmutz on the snowflake from my iron, so that makes me think, yep, definitely time to clean up the iron. But you can see how it's lightening. That's because it's drying out. Oh, I'm really flattening it too. I should put, oh, that's what I should do. Hold on here. Let's get a little tea towel. This is what I should be using. Instead of pressing directly onto the thing, onto the snowflake, just kind of pressing through this fabric here. All right, so I think this is enough for me to take it off. So I'm going to just remove all these pins, but I'll probably give it another press. And then we'll be good to go. So I want to do one more of these tomorrow. So we won't finish it tomorrow, but we'll start it fresh tomorrow. So I'll go over how to wind the bobbin and, ouch, the, not the bobbin, the shuttle, and we'll do all that again. So there we go. Here's a start. Let's just set it on here. It's still damp, so I just want to give it one little more press. Some of these are really long, but it's kind of cute. A little snowflakey. I'm just trying to get these going opposite each other a little bit better, maybe. And I'm just using, like I said, a light starch. So, I mean, if I really wanted this to stay, not permanently, but be a lot stiffer, which I might want for a Christmas ornament, then you'd use some, like, heftier starch or some starch that hasn't been watered down or anything at all. All right, well, I think we got that pretty good, and, you know, it'll continue to dry. Like, you can see, look at the little flower in there. It'll continue to dry overnight, but you can just see how, like, poofy it was before, and especially, you know, it had these big loops for the flowers, and now it was just like all bubbled up and stuff. The blocking really does make it flat and cute and perfect. So there we go. Here's our four pieces so far. So now just looking at it, I can definitely tell. So this is the latest one I made, obviously. We just finished this one, but I did, you know, my fourth time doing it. I'm still a beginner, but my fourth time doing that is I felt more at ease with my hands, and my stitches were a lot looser, and you can tell, like, this is a bigger size than these other ones. So these ones I was doing like a lot tighter, and this one I felt comfortable enough to just be a little looser, and it was a lot easier to do. And so this is probably more of like my natural size that I want to do things at. I also made the picos a little bit bigger, I think, but yeah, these ones are much tighter, and this one was got a little bit looser, so I suspect my next one will be like that. Oh, the mat. So this is a wool pressing mat. I think this one, it's like, so it's it's about 3/4 of an inch thick. Yeah, a little over half inch, maybe not 3/4, but like a good half inch thick. And I think I got the 18 by, you know, this looks more like 24 inches by 18. This looks like more than 12 inches. Yeah, I would say 24 by 18, and I love it. What's nice is that you can use either side of it. It's the same on each side. You can pin stuff to it. You can actually press, like if you have other like quilt blocks or something underneath, it'll heat up underneath and on top. I can do it right on the table. I just love because it's super mobile. So I do use it all the time. And I have a couple of them too. They're not the cheapest things always, but you can find them on Amazon and stuff, and I just love it so much. So, all right, so I learned a lot of things today. I got a lot of tips tonight, and I think that last join, I think I actually did it correct this time, and it went more smoothly than usual. So I think my next one is going to be just right. So I'm excited. So we'll have to choose what color to do tomorrow. I think I'm tempted to do another one of the pale blues. This is the color that I did the first one out of. So maybe I'll do another one of those. And we're going to start from scratch. So I will take the rest of this floss off of this shuttle, and then tomorrow I'll show you how I wind the shuttle, and then we'll get started from complete scratch, and I'll show you the pattern again and how to read the pattern, and that'll be good. It'll be fun. So let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday, so maybe it's been kind of taking me 2 sessions to finish it, so we'll take the next 2 days and do a final little snowflake, and then Friday I think we'll do maybe some more sewing again for Finish It Friday. So all right, you guys. Okay, so thanks again so much for joining me here tonight for a craft night with friends, and like I said, tomorrow we'll do a little bit more tatting. We'll start fresh. And be sure to check out the new embroidery of the month. In about a half hour, I'll be switching over this month's to next month. So I switch it over at 10 p.m. Central Time. I'm not doing it at midnight anymore, so I can go to sleep. So it'll switch over at 10. It takes me about a half hour, so about 10:30 p.m. the new ones will be out. Subscribers, yours will be going out right away. So if you've subscribed, don't worry about staying up and ordering or anything like that. And watch the email tomorrow we'll notify you about the new embroidery of the month as well. So thanks again, you guys, for joining me on my little adventure of stitching that tree topper this past week and making these tatted snowflakes. It's been awesome to hang out with you guys. We'll see you again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central. Have a great evening. Good night.